one more interesting guest with us. So, so before that, my name is Pawan Kumar Shukla. I'm a wealth coach. I help first generation entrepreneur and senior management guys to create meaningful experiences with their families and friends. So, friends, today we have a very exciting guest, something different and something you would really love him once we start interacting with him. So I'll be speaking about him. His name is Simit Raveshia, as you can see. He is a practicing architect and an interior designer. Simit has been successfully practicing his profession at Mumbai and Surat since last 25 years. So he has an experience of 2.5 decades and has been accredited for his architectural design at Surat in the luxury segment category. He's also been pursuing his passion for visual arts, which involves many sculpture design and created by him and has led him to be a participant of various prestigious art festival shows in India and internationally. Simit strives with destiny led him to get associated with Maitra Dada Shriji, who is the founder of Maitra Bodh Parivar, a spiritual and a social organization. Today's session involves discussing his journey of experiences on this spiritual path and the aspect of life under the grace and guidance of Maitra Dada Shriji. So, welcome Simit to this show of Entrepreneur Excel, and I really welcome you. Yeah. So, Simit,
Thank
the
you.
audience want to know more about your journey so far in life because you are an architect, you are designing buildings and constructing buildings and all that. Now you are designing lifestyle. So I'm very curious to know more about you. How was your journey so far in life, and what made you join this Maitri Bodh Parivar? Over to you, so,
Yes.
Sumit.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro, Pawan. I'm in gratitude. And hello, viewers. Hope you all are in good grace. And yes, Pawan, with me in my life, it has been a joyride. Actually, now I say it as a joyride because there is this like a joyride. There's been ups and downs like all other lives. So there has been a beautiful joyride. So, till a few years back, not long ago, I'm talking about, till a few years back in my life, through my college years, through my other year, later on also, I've been quite a rebel. So, rebel in everything, in all spheres of life, in my college life, in my social life, in my relationships, everything. But somewhere down the line, I didn't realize why this was going on. There's this thing which that want was there inside. I never could fathom it, which led me to naturally, which when you're being a rebel and the flow of life takes you to very depressive levels. So that was where I reached at one point in my life, which was very, very low. And that is the time, by some circumstance, Maitreya Dadashiji came into my life.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, since then, now, when I look back, it's been a beautiful joyride. Now, the whole thing has changed. And it has been from moment to moment. The life has been now from moment to moment where you start enjoying. Even there are these highs and lows, but they are part of the enjoyment. They are part of the experience of life. It makes you learn every moment and wants you to, live more and more and breathe more. So that's how the journey has been, because at the end of it, I've found that bliss, that love for life. And that is all because I came in association with Maitreya Dada Shriji.
That's
So
amazing. So that was really very interesting, Samit, to know about your story. You were into architecture and doing so well in the luxury segment, designing. And then when you shared about connecting with Dada Shriji and getting impacted, of course, it's just amazing to hear about you. So I have a question now. Like now, you are practicing designing lifestyle for people in terms of your architectural work. So now you are designing humans. Actually, I mean, you are promoting the lifestyle of humans now. That India. So my question is now, sir, what do you mean the word spirituality? Because there is a lot of ambiguity and confusion with a lot of people, especially youngsters. So when we
yes.
talk about spirituality, and so they people think it's more to do with somebody who is age old or somebody who is retired or about
Yes.
to, जैसे हम लोग गीता पढ़ते हैं जब कोई people are into this thing. So I want your definition of spirituality. And my second question connected to this is, what is spirituality and what is religion, according
Hmm.
to you, and how it is interconnected? Because there is a lot of confusion. We don't see
Yes.
human as human. We are all connected by. So I want your view on this.
Yeah, that's one of the most beautiful questions, actually, and especially for today's time, this is something that needs to be addressed in the most simple way, because as what Mache Dadashi ji has actually imbibed in us, that spirituality is to be simple. It's simpler than the word simple, actually. That is just to flow.
Wow.
The moment, like how water is spiritual. When you see जो झरना बहता है, what spirituality, how beautiful, वो बहता है. When you see stagnant water, spirituality is lost. So that's what is spirituality. Very simple terms, just बहना है. Things will come, you go through, you learn, you move, you start connecting with each and everything within yourself. So that basically was spirituality. That is nature and being natural. That's why we say, na, nature, we connect spirituality with nature, Mother Nature, and all that. So we are also part of nature. The moment you become natural,
Wow.
you're spiritual. There's no other thing more to spirituality, is because it's the simplest of the concept. आप बस आपके अंदर connect हो जाओ, be natural, just let life live by, and just enjoy. And that is spirituality. Also, the one very important aspect of that is, so every time you're always thinking and looking back of becoming better than the last moment, becoming better. And for everybody, becoming better कहीं बाहर से नहीं आता, वो अंदर है. We all know ना कि ये जो मैंने किया वो सही था नहीं था. There's this sound there. एक आवाज आता है हमें, एक 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 आवाज कंटिन्यूस हमारे अंदर रहता है. you know we hear it audibly or not, that is besides the point, but we उसका आभास हमें रहता है. So it is just simple. वो आवाज आता है, उसके साथ चलिए, आप उस पर गौर करिए, जिसको हम कभी कभी बहुत सारे कंफ्यूजन में डाल देते हैं. आवर माइंड गोज इन बिटवीन. वो आवाज को हमें सुनने देता है, नहीं सुनने देता है. बट द मिनट हमारा वो कनेक्ट, वो आवाज सुनने का जो हम उसको, इफ वी स्टार्ट गिविंग दैट वेटेज टू इट, वी आर बीइंग स्पिरिचुअल. So that is what has been a big change on being spiritual. And going with your second question, which is a link to spirituality and religion. See, spirituality makes you grow, right? Every moment to make you more simpler, so that you can grow internally. Religion is a was always there as ways and means to move on this path. So उसके अंदर रिचुअल्स आ गए, और जैसे ही रिचुअल्स आए तो उसमें ये ऐसा करना है, वी हैव टू फॉलो दिस, वी हैव टू डू दिस, हमें ऐसे ही ये करना है, ये सारी चीजें आ गई. So what happened was, the minute these things came, it became a part of the mind. Rather than with the heart, it came to the sphere of mind. The minute anything comes to the sphere of mind, तो उसके साथ power, manipulation, हर तरीके के गेम्स शुरू हो जाते हैं.
Right.
So that is what has happened today of what we normally say religion. Religion was a part of spirituality. There's no two ways about it. But kahin na kahin, because of this mind thing, in religion and these blockages ये जो आते हैं, तो वहाँ पे वो दोनों फर्क आ रहा है. So being simpler is what it is. And religion, बहुत सारे, हर एक religion का अगर आप base में जाओगे तो it is just telling one thing, becoming simpler. और उसके तरीके बताए हैं. So that is what is religion.
So it was very nicely you explained the most ambiguous topic, is talking about spirituality and religion. So what I understood, correct me if I'm wrong, spirituality has to do with the heart and religion has to do with the mind. So follow your heart, and it will guide you in the right path. That is what.
Absolutely. There's no two ways about it. अभी हुआ ये है, we are following our mind.
Yes.
And we are seeing the whole world. We all know that we have been following the mind. कहीं ना कहीं following the heart has been on the back seat. The minute we again start bonding, get connected to our heart and follow the heart, mind, you use it as a tool to do that, to walk on that path.
So it's
So
very nicely explained in terms of simplicity, because I always believe that the answer in the simpler context, or you make people understand, that is really awesome. Because frankly speaking, I'm a follower of some this thing, but still till now I was not knowing about in such a simpler way. You explain the entire meaning of spirituality and uh, the religion part. Thank you so much.
thank you.
So I want, like, what made you connect to spirituality as you were practicing? So I want a bit elaboration, and how it benefited you, because that is what really I want to know more about it. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
So, like I said, my life was going through a very depressive state
yeah,
once upon a time. And that's when, this book came into my hands, the autobiography of a yogi. And I
yeah.
read through the book and I loved the book immensely. But what connected me in that book at that point in time was Mahavatar Babaji. you know
Okay,
as Mahavatar Babaji, I would say, is a very very old energy. बहुत सालों से हैं, thousands of years कहते हैं. Now, what so I got connected to Mahavatar Babaji, and in that, during those times, I was just saying, अंदर से एक desire जागी कि बाबा जी को internally I just conveyed कि how, please help me to find someone or connect me to some master in today's world with the most simplest way of spirituality, to follow a path for myself, because where I am right now, I don't know the next. And where I didn't want, see, I was एक रेबल था, मैं कोई उस तरीके से स्पिरिचुअल नहीं था, सो आई डेंट वांट टू फॉलो एनी टेक्निक्स और दोस पर्टिकुलर काइंड ऑफ वे ऑफ फंक्शनिंग और रिचुअलिस्टिक और एनीथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट, या कोई processes. So this is what internally this desire was there, and within a span of probably, if I remember correctly, 1.5 months, I got connected to a dear friend who is now a very dear friend of mine, who is a healer.
okay,
So, and we never knew each other before. Somehow I landed at her place for this healing, and there I saw this picture of Maitreya Dadashri ji, and I asked her, "Who is this?" And she said, "He is my divine friend." And somehow this connection started. And then she suggested me, okay, you, and she told me, like, he's a Mahavatar Babaji's this direct disciple. And that got me thinking, I was just asking about internally to Mahavatar Babaji, and here there's someone, and I asked her, what path does he follow? He said, nothing, just follow your insight, just bonding with your own divine, whomever you are following, and he ensures that you connect to your own divine. This is his life's work. And I was like, beautiful. And she sent me, like, we have now these in Maitri Bodh Parivar, we have these sessions of both, both 1, both 2, both 3, both 4, which are kind of, you can say, workshops, or, these kind of sessions. In that, there is a little bit of teaching, which is at a very experiential level, very, very simple teachings, followed by a process which they do, which is called Shakti Prabha, which we can talk about later. So this was the first session which I went, which was very very simple, and I did that, came back, I said, मुझे तो कुछ नहीं हुआ. And she said, hold on, no problem, आप second करना, फिर आप देखना. And then everything kick started. The whole journey was started from inside out. हम try करते हैं हम बाहर से अंदर जाए, ये inside से outside automatic journey शुरू हो गई, where you start feeling something in your heart, where you start hearing this voice, where you start bonding much more. You start feeling that love, which we all are at the core of it. And somehow this love to feel, just imagine, हम देखते हैं ना, sometimes on a beach front, or especially in Bombay, this chowpatty we see, previously we used to see, a pandemic में तो scenes change हो गया. On that wall we used to see two lovers sitting, धूप में, कोई feeling नहीं, कुछ नहीं, and how they could, but they are in love, they could feel, so nothing was affecting them. So finally I could feel that constantly. So
wow,
this has changed 360-degree in my life. So it has filled that gap which I was searching for all the time. And so now every work I do, everything I do is from that seat of bond with my divine. So you start feeling beautiful for your
So
own self inside. Yes. Sorry. Yes, Pawan.
So that's really very interesting to know about your exactly. I mean, so what I got connected is like when a person is not feeling so good, like I mean, when he's not going through a good state of mind, and actually, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
The network was fluctuating. Yeah, yeah. So when you're going through that low phase or any low phase, so if you get that inner calling and the way you got your inner calling and you, so it was a divine intervention. I feel because the way you
Absolutely.
got that book and you went through that book, the autobiography of journey, and you went from that state of depressive to very expressive. The way you are expressing yourself is just amazing. The way you the entire content in a very simpler way. That's so amazing, Simit. So now, Simit, going further now in this pandemic, now how do you see this situation? Because this has never happened in my father's time or grandfather's time or great grandfather's
Yeah.
time. It's almost a century. Such situation has never occurred. So what is that nature trying to tell us? Because it's a divine thing which is happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, divine thing
I can
happening.
hear you.
What is that nature trying speak to us? In what way nature is expressing to us, and how do you see this situation as, and uh, your society or your social group see this situation as like?
Yes. See, nature has always been telling us, always, nature has never stepped back to not tell us what is right, whether we are going in the right direction or not. Like we know, since so many years, there's been things happening, in tits and bits. Tsunami happened, this happened, that happened. Things are happening, ozone layer is dilapidated, wo kam hote ja raha hai. All these are, nature has been constantly telling us. But some one fine day, nature has to give, like it's a mother. दैट्स व्हाई कॉल इट मदर नेचर. मदर क्या करती है? अब अगर बच्चा अगर ज्यादा नहीं सुन पाता, अगर 2 बार प्यार से बोलती है, 3 बार बोलती है, उसके बाद नहीं सुनता, तो एक छोटा सा या तो स्कोल्ड करती है, या एक छोटा सा एक वन स्मॉल, एक छोटा सा टपली देती है. So what I see this pandemic is that mother nature now finally, like now, guys, please look at this. See, if you see around also, I feel see nature, the climatic conditions have changed. We're seeing the flora and fauna absolutely, in better shape now. I don't think so there is, except one species right now, which is human species. Every other species on the planet probably are happier,
Hmm.
I feel. So is nature तो सबको belong करती है.
Yes,
वो तो मदर नेचर है, हम एक स्पीसीज नहीं है. It's telling us things to get our act together, to transform now, to move towards that direction. Slowly it was just amplifying the volume. Now the volume is a little bit larger, higher, कि अब सुनो. So it has just been, in fact, in these pandemic times, I do understand that a lot of hardships people have faced. Yes. But at the same time, today we are talking about this. See, this is how are we talking about all these things. This pandemic has enabled so many people to talk about, come out, talk about spirituality, or talk about transformation and moving towards the growth, internal growth.
absolutely, absolutely.
So so all in all, basically this is all moving towards our transformation, which where Maitribodh Parivar is basically today, it's all about human transformation. And it's a path which is well set out. The minute we are moving on this path, things will be better, because it's our internal state which needs to change.
Right.
Not the external was always beautiful.
Absolutely. So that is what this pandemic has shown us, the way that we were going into the way we were going, but nature has got its own way of expressing things. As you said, Mother Nature would express the way he or she loves us as children. So obviously, he's going to show you in a very different way, and you realize the importance of all the things. It has to be a very holistic growth, basically, as
Yes,
you
yes.
said, like flora and fauna. they they are in a very good shape, and you could see the clarity of sky, you can see the cleanliness of water, and so many things flourishing up
Yes.
so nicely. So, Samit, now the most important thing is now our country is a very diverse culture. Our
Mm.
demographic, if you could see, we are a young country.
Mm.
Now, we in this lockdown times, in last 5 months, so our country has 800 million of children, like below the age of 25. We have 1.4 billion people, out of which 800 million is children below the age of 25. Now, they are huge bundle of energy, and
Yes.
so how do you channelize the energy of this young generation? Because we were all internal, we couldn't go out, everybody was in online and expressing. So how do you channelize, how Maitri, both Parivar, or your thoughts on youth actually? Because they are the future of India. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, youth energy is the biggest what we can channelize, and we can see the biggest transformation happening once the youth pick it up. Because that's the future. That's where we are moving towards. So youth is a very integral part where they, uh, basically, if you see nuclear energy,
Yes.
such a bundle of energy, such powerful energy.
Yes.
Nuclear energy can be used for both the purposes.
Yes.
Peaceful purposes where it can do immensely for the growth of humankind and for everything else. But if it's not used judiciously, or if it is not channelized judiciously, or in the right sense, or in the right direction, you know what happens. The nuclear bombs, no, the thing of warfare. Similarly, youth are that bundle of energy, that super energy, which just requires the right guidance.
Yes.
And in fact, if we see today, youth, like Maitri Dadashiji has given special importance to how the youth have to be channelized. उनको रोक टोक नहीं लगाना है, उनको चैनलाइज करना है. इनफैक्ट today's youth, I am seeing जो हमारे टाइम जो थोड़ा earlier times and today what I'm seeing, they are much more universally connected.
Wow.
इनफैक्ट
Yes.
उनको काफी अच्छे से आइडिया है, ये करते हैं तो ये सही है नहीं है. How
Yes.
it manifests is where the difference is. एंड इफ द राइट चैनलाइजेशंस आर नॉट, अगर राइट डायरेक्शन हम नहीं दे पाते या उनको राइट एवेन्यूज नहीं दे पाते, तो फिर वो इतना बंडल ऑफ एनर्जी कहीं ना कहीं तो मैनिफेस्ट होगा ना.
Right.
सो
Absolutely.
वी इन फैक्ट हैव टू क्रिएट दैट सपोर्ट सिस्टम, नॉट बिग, जस्ट क्रिएट अ सपोर्ट सिस्टम. लाइक एक हाईवे है, एक अच्छी पावरफुल गाड़ी है, आप एम्बैंकमेंट्स बनाओ और फिर उसको
Absolutely.
अपने रफ्तार से चलने दो, आप डायरेक्शन वो हो जाता है. And it can do wonders. So youth is a very big. So Maitribodh Parivar, we have YGPT, arm which is a youth, Youth for Global Peace and Transformation. There, the talk is not much about spirituality. There, the talk is about what difference in the world you can make. You channelize that energy and involve
Absolutely.
people and doing hands-on work, be it social work or be it other kinds of work, which brings more awareness. So they
So
have to be
that
more
was.
active.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So very rightly said, Mr. Samit, like youth are the bundle of energy. And as you said, like you explained us very brilliantly, the way when you shared about spirituality is to follow your heart, and our youth only follow heart. They don't follow mind
Exactly.
actually. So
Yes.
if we can make them explain in a very simpler way about what exactly is this, and people would definitely would be love to be part of your YBT group. So,
Yes.
so one last question, Sumit ji. So now that we all understand what is spirituality, you made us understood in a very nice way, very simpler way, and why it is important to channelize your energy and be a part of this process. So now, how one can follow it? Now all that we understand. तो अभी मुझे करना क्या है? मुझे करना क्या है? मुझे
Yes.
क्या follow
Yes.
करना है? Is there any tool or is there any
Yes.
sadhana or ritual or something like that? So that
Yes.
people will get to know. So your three bonds of जो आज हमारा topic है, three bonds of life. So can you share more about it?
Yes. So, basically, first, like what Maitreya Dada Shiji did was he has given us these three things about the three main aspects of life. कि क्या ये चीज है, whereby we understand and we start walking towards that path. So the first we had a session about Swagyan, which is the right knowledge. right knowledge, true knowledge. So knowledge तो बहुत है, like we are taking knowledge every day, and that is just at information level, but that is all of the outside world. This is about your knowledge, inside, your inside, आप.
So,
So it is about swa, which is swagyan. So it is swagyan, khud ka. So that was one of the topics where you start connecting inside, aapka. So this life, what is it about? How you are, what you are, aap kya ho, and how you move further for your growth through it. So that brings us to how I do it. So what are the ways, or kya karma जो हम karmic बोलते हैं, karma, the actions, the right actions. So that brings us to the second, the aspect of it, which is sat karma, the right actions, true actions. So there, if we go deeper, so there's this: what are the right actions which constitute our behavior, or that there are these divine actions, whether you're doing actions through your mind in terms of, or you're doing actions through your heart, the selfless actions. There are actions which are a part of your destiny. Like, say for example, a soldier, he is going out in the front, defending our boundary, and if there is some skirmish happened, he has to fight, and he has to, वो किसी की जान ले सकता है वहां सामने. So that
absolutely.
is the right action which is duty bound. But अगर यहाँ पीस टाइम में अगर आके कोई बोलेगा वहां पे मैं ये सेम चीज करूं, तो is it the right action?
Wow.
It is completely not the right action.
Yes,
So how
absolutely.
you take the right actions, what are the right actions, what are divine actions, how you just surrender and then you perform towards your growth. आप कैसे उसको surrender करके आप action करते हो? Just always the feel, you perform through your heart to just become better, to do the right sense of work, to always give your best, and then forget कि क्या होगा. Your thing is your end result, the start thing, everything is you are performing to give the best from your heart. So that the right action. So that is how, then it brings us to the third aspect जो हम Sunday को ये session है, which is about संबंध. How all this is possible brings us
Yeah.
to कि मैं कैसे इसको अचीव करूं, या मैं कैसे इस स्टेट में जाऊं. So that is संबंध, which is संबंध, as the name suggests, a bond. तो बॉन्ड किसके साथ? हमारे इनसाइड, हमारे डिवाइन के साथ. यू कैन कॉल डिवाइन, यू कैन कॉल और any term, you universal energy, your higher internal self, or your divine friend. So that is where you connect, where the entire source is, which can propel you to do right actions, which gives you the right knowledge, the right wisdom.
Right.
और ये सी टू डू ऑल दीज थिंग्स, बहुत बारी क्या होता है ना कि जैसे वी हैव द राइट इंग्रेडिएंट्स खाना पकाने के लिए, हमारे पास राइट इंग्रेडिएंट्स, या अगर या से फॉर एग्जांपल आई गिव यू अनदर, जैसे एक सीड है, आई टेक अ सीड, पुट इट इन द सॉइल, अच्छा सॉइल लेके आया हूँ, अच्छा मैन्योर लेके आया हूँ, सब कुछ किया है, एंड नाउ आई एक्सपेक्ट इट टू ग्रो इनटू अ नाइस ट्री. विल इट हैपन? इट विल रिक्वायर दिस इंग्रेडिएंट. उसके पास सारा नॉलेज था, सारा इंफॉर्मेशन है टू ग्रो इनसाइड दैट सीड एंड दैट सॉइल एंड दैट मैन्योर. पानी डालते हैं हम to set it that. So this is what, so Dada Shiji has given us this Shakti Prabha, which is a divine energy transfer. So in every process, every session that we do, there is a process of Shakti Prabha, which is a very integral and very important part of the session, whereby all the teachings, which are at a very experiential way, beautiful, simpler way, they sink in, they go straight inside at our heart level, to the deepest core. Why it has to go? Because mind, जितना भी teaching हम लेते हैं, we always take it through these screens of our mind, these various conditionings we have been exposed to. तो the mind sometimes allows it, sometimes कोई चीज जा पाती है, कोई चीज नहीं जा पाती. And there is always this lot of, mind is a monkey.
Yes, absolutely.
So exactly to take this straight away to the core, and for the work to start inside out, this divine intervention is required, which is Shakti Prava. And the best
So,
part about
yeah, yeah.
just a small thing. Best part about Shakti Prava, that it a few of our doctors, there was a pilot study done scientifically, and it is there in IJMR, which is whereby they have done brain scans of before Shakti Prava and post Shakti Prava, and the changes in the brain has been seen. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
So this was all about Mr. Simit, and he was an excellent orator as well as a practitioner and a healer. So if you really want, if you're inspired by his talk, so do join him. He'll be sharing the link, and just be a part of transformational journey, because it's not from knowledge; it comes from experiential sharing, what he's sharing from his life, and that's what inspired me to interview him. And thanks, Semit, for giving your very important time and doing a noble job. And really thankful to you. You're doing an excellent work, and may God bless you for all the kind of work what you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you to my